that was the tipping point for me. Man, I'm sick of Jey Uso. I hate that entrance. I hate the eating. And like, War Games is meant to be serious. You know for a fact that Brock Lesnar is about to come in and kill you all. Why are you having a dance beforehand? Shouldn't you be incapacitating the heels further so it's 4-on-1 with Brock, who then dominated 4-on-1?
Yeah, I would say now this is something else with modern wrestling. And when we get into that segment, I'll go deeper into it. You need to look at the situation. On the watch along with Brett and Roddy from WrestleMania 8, you had asked a question. I repeat this from last week. Excellent question, but it tells the story, literally, pun intended. You asked me, did they just record that promo live just before the match? That's all you need to know. Doesn't matter if it was 5 minutes before, 5 hours before. The continuity of the emotion, especially from Piper. He was happy. Brett and him got serious real fast. And then Piper comes out there like, playtime's over, kidding's over. I'm going to kick your butt. There's something to be said with that. If they just got that down with continuity's sake off of promos, entrances, inciting incidences the week before and addressing them the week after or the day after or whatever it is, I think it would improve modern wrestling by a large margin right away. But get back to Jey Uso. This is where you're the prosecutor and I'm the defense.
Okay. I was nonplussed with Jey Uso as I hate main event Jey Uso as a nickname as well. But I hate pretty much every nickname. I mentioned in my video, the Genius of the Sky is maybe the most egregiously awful nickname. Once again, designed by committee. Hey, we've got something we're going to trademark and put on t-shirts.
Hey, you can fly and the sky is the sky. So
you have a high IQ.
What are you, a smart ass?
You're a smart ass.
What are you, a smart ass? You're Genius of the Sky?
Yeah, man, that one gets me every single time. I hate it. I hate all these contrived nicknames.
Because the nickname means nothing and they don't stick to why the nickname is part of the character. Main event Jey Uso is really booking yourself into a corner. I would refuse, because if you're not in the main event, you look like an idiot. I agree with that. Macho Man Randy Savage. Even Duke the Dumpster Drosy, you understand that it's a trash man. You know, Bob Holly had some nickname with the race car stuff, but even the character, and these are dark times. Like the people that like wrestling is my second job. Like they worked at TNA or something. I have a full-time job outside wrestling. But what I'm saying is, like, Seth Rollins is probably the biggest, like, he's the Paul Orndorff of switching names. Like Paul Orndorff switched babyface and heel. Like, what are you? And it almost becomes a joke when he reads off literally all the gimmicks he's had. You ever see him do that where he reads, I'm this, I'm that, I'm everything. Mm-hmm. You're literally just talking about how you haven't committed to a character. So yeah, the main event, Jey Uso, like Jey should have never even accepted that one. That was very, very touchy because now either he turns heel or he loses his spot and goes down, or he could still go down a few rungs anyway.
So if you're going to be the defense for Jey Uso, I'll be the prosecutor. Here are my issues with Jey Uso over the past year. I don't think he's that great of a wrestler. I think he's got a good look, but also there's nothing fantastic about him. Like he's not like a Ultimate Warrior type of thing. Well, we've got to push him to the main event because he looks that way. I'm nonplussed by his interviews, but here's the real... I hate his spear, and I hate that super kick. And they're two of his 4 moves, and he does them terribly. And here's the real thing that I can't stand, is that stupid entrance, and then you've got to replay it, and then do it again. And I know we both talk about it a lot on and off air as well. Dutch and I do. I mention it on my channel as well. Anything that takes way too much time to artificially drag out a segment, a match, a promo, anything, I hate. And that is public enemy number 1, that one. It absolutely is. It's great for the house, but when you watch it 50 times in a row, it's redundant after a couple of months. They peaked at WrestleMania to do it, and now they just do it even more. Do you remember when Hulk Hogan came back in 2002? He got an 8-minute standing ovation. It was amazing. Tell me how amazing that would be if it happened 50 weeks in a row. You get a bit sick of it.
I would tend to agree in context with what you said. Now, when Jey won the World Heavyweight title, That's when the entrance should have been done. Going through the crowd, celebration to open up the show. That's it. I still put it on creative. What does WWE and wrestling in general these days do? Hey, that works. Let's beat them over the head with it week after week. Jey Uso's not saying, hey, Triple H is saying, hey, Jey, just get right to the ring. No way, dude. I'm doing 8 minutes. I'm doing 8 minutes. And then they're like, okay, you do the 8 minutes. Your main event, Jey Uso. No, this is on TKO in the office. This is exactly what I talked about before. If we had a 60 to 90 minute Raw, you would eliminate all that right away. Or maybe you wouldn't. And you would just, Jey Uso's in the ring. We got 20 minutes left in the show. No, this is creative. This is management. And as fans, it's not Jey Uso an indictment on him. It's an indictment on everything. Seth Rollins, I'm a heel, but sing my song. Disconnect. Other people, dude, I said it on the Patreon or off when we were doing the pre-show. I said the answer is today, make Taker look like he's running to the ring like the Ultimate Warrior. You know, I never thought there would be a longer entrance than The Undertaker. But we got it. We got it. Roman Reigns started that. That dude took his time getting to the ring too. So this here is a time-killing thing. And if I were a fan, I wouldn't stand for it. I wouldn't buy a ticket to go to the show and see that. Like you said, 4 matches in almost 3 hours. And if I was the network or Netflix or anybody that pays for that billions of dollars for 4 to 5 years license, I'd be the first one on the phone complaining like, dude, we're paying like $3.9 million an episode. That's $28,000 or so a minute. Jey Uso just cost us $150,000. Come on. That's the people that need to be more mad than us or any fan, is the people paying for this time filler. I didn't necessarily defend exactly Jey. You win that round, but it's not on Jey.
Okay, right, that is true. As far as a wrestler goes, I find a lot more characters on Raw specifically more interesting. I can rattle them off. Braun Breaker. And I see them as above Jey. Main event Jey Uso. Like your Gunther's, CM Punk's, your Seth Rollins, your Braun Breakers, your LA Knight I'd see above Jey Uso. And there's a guy who I think's still criminally underrated and who deserves, more than what he's getting. Drew McIntyre. You'd argue Logan Paul, I'm sure, that would be better than Jey Uso. There's like another 5. AJ Styles is still there. John Cena's hanging about. Dominic Mysterio. I just think there's infinitely better options out there to be in a main singles run than Jey. And I'll give you one more thing, and I'm sure you'll argue with me on this one, is I think his spear is horrible, and that's his finish. I think the super kicks are horrible. That's his finish. Like and I don't hate it, but it's the IWC term, his moveset. Like you have your 5 moves of doom kind of thing, and none of them look impactful. It's a complete disconnect with me for Jey. But I know for a fact that you really like Jey as a performer. So what do you see that I'm not seeing?
Yeah, I'm still going to be completely objective. There has been a regression. There has been a certain amount. I don't know if it's contentment. I know Jey's, he has to want to hold on to that spot. He's not lazy and content from the Jey I know and watched. But also, he had the opportunity to get to the spot and then to hold on to the spot. And I feel like there was a kind of staleness that was brought on after he won the World Heavyweight title. Now, I do contend with you. I'm watching Jey Uso and a lot of other people. Those are big man moves. The spear is a big man move. The spear is so overused by a lot of people. Once Roman Reigns started doing it, they should have cut out a lot of it. You had Goldberg come back. The only other person I would say that should use the spear is obviously Braun Breaker. But we have the spear that's the new super kick. Let's get to the super kick. Yeah, that there, I would say Jey had an opportunity to basically bring the super kick back as a setup for the frog splash, for the Uso splash finish, to knock somebody out in order to do that. There can be tweaking. I was a big fan of Jey back in the COVID era. You know why? When he started cutting promos and he was doing that stuff with Roman, I said it on Russo's show way back. This dude's a star. I didn't say a main event star, a permanent main eventer, but he is a star that had as a niche with that. He went up to that. Now they gave him the belt. he should have been able to carry that. There's been incidences here and there with press conferences that you've covered in the past where it looks like sometimes the pressure would get the Jey to be in that spot. As a matter of fact, they put it on the show. Remember? He was doubting himself before.
Yeah.
No, he was doubting himself on TV going into the Gunther match.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was that Jey could have had those doubts. Once again, the writers and whatever. He says it in the Jey Uso language or the way he would say it, but the words I feel were somebody else telling him to say it. Because I'm watching the promos before where he's with Roman and they kind of let them do whatever they did. Him and Sammy, the stuff with Sammy and breaking everybody up and stuff like that, that was Jay's best work. So based off of all that stuff, he passed every test going to the world title. You know what I mean? There's no like, well, Roman had it, so let's give it to Jey. Or Jey just kind of is here, or he's been here 15 years, so give it, the old speech, childhood dream. I've been in this company for 15 years and deserve it. Disconnect. Jey proved every time they tested him that he could carry the ball. Unfortunately, with the world title, there were some stalls, there was staleness, and of course, that entrance each and every week made people like you so tired of him. Then I'll tell you what happens from personal experience. You have the spot, you feel the pressure. By the way, in anything in life, right? When you're forcing it and you're pressured and you're like, I can't mess up. I can't mess up. I got to hit the super kick. I got to hit the spear. What ends up happening? Murphy's Law. You mess it up. So I saw a certain kind of tenseness with Jey, especially after losing a title, where it started to feel forced. It started to feel like he was trying too hard. The things that made Jey Uso over to me and a lot of other people in the beginning were lost. And now it feels like he's almost feeling like he's got to shove whatever he's doing down people's throats to get back over. And that's where he is now. Now there's a heel turn. And I have to say, I don't know, man. Like you just said, are we going to get to a point where, all right, I'm checked out of Jey? I don't hate him. It's just like enough. But I still believe in him as a talent, as somebody who considers himself to see the talent in people and see the potential. And also somebody is a talent. And we'll talk about Paul Heyman. When I was at my lowest point, I doubted myself. Paul Heyman and the ECW believed in me and coached me and produced me to become a main eventer in ECW. He needs somebody like that in WWE.
What would you suggest then? Because actually my next question was heel turn on Raw and or teasing anyway, and he tips over the thing, and I was kind of laughing through it because he was really trying to like lift up the Prime trolley, and he didn't really move it that far.
He lost the battle with the Prime trolley.
Yeah, and then he tried to do the same with the stairs. I say this on my other video. I saw a video like a few hours beforehand of Ahmed Johnson, right? Picked up the top end of the stairs and then launched them to where Goldust was like 1 second earlier. I was like, man, one, that could have gone wrong. Two, man, that looked impressive. Like, it was like, a hair's breadth between like Goldust getting out,
he might have been really aiming for him. Ahmed didn't care.
He was.
Yeah.
But the point was is that Ahmed Johnson was really impressive. He just ripped it up and lobbed these stairs. And Jey Uso was kind of like,
and the stairs are heavy. In Jay's defense, the stairs are heavy. Yeah, Ahmed threw a curveball instead of a fastball, thank God, because he was aiming for Dustin. I have no doubt on that. Yeah. But I know my defense seems like it's very over the top or very kind of nuanced with everything. But you have to understand that a lot of these things in wrestling, it's just like Punk could be in the same exact spot of people getting tired of Punk, but they take a little bit better care now. And this is the creative system in wrestling. All right, brother, you're over. You're on your own. That's it. Now we're going to get this guy over. Then everybody gets over, but we talked about it before. 50-50 booking in the end kind of brings everybody down. And Jay's in that spot right now.
Yeah, well, because I think also I would have said, well, if you turn him heel, then kind of so what? What's changed? I mean, do you just get rid of the only thing, the entrance, which would bug me, but other people still enjoy? So if he's a bad guy now, then he probably wouldn't do the yeeting or the entrance or anything like that. So what's left? So turning heel would probably make it worse for him, in my mind. So what do you do with him?
The only thing you could have done with him is having you had other things going on. So it could have been a Survivor Series, but you could have had him turn on Roman and lay Roman out. That's the only saving grace. If you want Jay to be an impactful heel, he turns on Roman, he turns on Jimmy, he turns on the whole family. The family comes into one episode and he kind of flips them off and says, I'm on my own. Now he has no family, has no friends. That's what it's got to be. Jay has to be, I almost see that like if he's such a loner, he'll become a babyface again if you keep like taking care of that. But he has to be this whole thing about losing your temper and going crazy. You know what I mean? Destroying everything and going crazy. That has also been overplayed to a point. The suddenness of the turn, that's what the shocking part is, right? If he was a little bit like starting to get frustrated, and then it seemed like he calmed down for a few weeks, right? So then he calms down. You lulled everybody into, okay, he just lost his temper or whatever. Then he turns on Roman because he's just like, I had to hold it in, and I just feel like the jealous younger brother or cousin of Roman Reigns. I should be the tribal chief. I should do this. They all kiss your butt. I'm not the one. I remember back at COVID what you did to me, and I never forgot. Now we're back on track.